Welcome into Mavericks Today by Chat Sports. I'm Jeffrey Cooperstein. The 2025 offseason for the Mavericks is officially here as the Mavericks flamed out in devastating fashion in the NBA play-in to the Memphis Grizzlies last night. And the season from hell is finally over. So how can the Mavericks get back to the top of the Western Conference? We're going to talk about it on today's show, what I think the Mavericks' perfect offseason could be. Before we get into the show, though, if you could please hit that thumbs up icon, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Those are the two easiest ways to help out the channel here at Mavericks Today. And we will be covering the offseason all throughout, so please be sure to lock us in and stay tuned. We're going to start with number one, and number one's pretty obvious. Got to fire the general manager, man. Got to do it. I don't think there is a way back with NIco Harrison and this Dallas Mavericks basketball team. I think he has to go. I just don't see how they can move forward with him at the helm, and you can have confidence in him to run this ball club. I simply don't see it whatsoever. He has alienated all of the fans. He basically told you that we don't matter whatsoever. He told you that he's going to do what's in his best interest of the Dallas Mavericks, which he has not done at all over the last 78 days since February 1st. I don't think he can be trusted with the betterment of the franchise, with the future of the franchise. I don't believe he is the right man to run this franchise going forward. And if I was Patrick Dumont, I would absolutely pull the trigger and let NIco Harrison go. By all accounts, it does not seem like that's going to be the case. Sounds like NIco is going to be here for the remaining 3 years on his contract at least. But if it were me running the Mavericks, this would be the first move I make, because I no longer think it is a tenable situation between the Mavericks, between NIco Harrison, and between the Dallas Mavericks fan base. And as long as he is in charge of the Mavericks, I do not think the fans are going to come around and support this team like they did pre-February 1st. Let me know down in the comments. This is going to be today's poll question. Should the Mavericks fire NIco Harrison? If you think they should, type F for fire. If you think they should keep him, type K for keep. You may get hit with the YouTube ad break here in just a couple of seconds. And while that happens, go on down there and get your votes in whether or not the Mavericks should fire NIco Harrison. We have to turn our attention to the 2025 NBA draft because the Mavericks are going to have a lottery pick. Now, is it likely that they're going to have the right to draft Cooper Flagg at the top of the draft? No, because they are sitting in the bottom 5 of the lottery. But there are still some very good players that I think the Mavericks could go out and get. And I do think a ball handler is their top need here in the draft. Kyrie Irving is going to be out until at least February. Spencer Dinwiddie, Dante Exum are both free agents. So in my opinion, I think a ball handler should be at the top of the list for the Dallas Mavericks in the draft. And there are a few guys that should be available right around when the Mavericks are picking that I really, really like. Let's take a look at some of those guys right now. Love Jeremiah Fears out of Oklahoma. Love Jace Richardson out of Michigan State. Kasparis Yakijonis, I know I butchered that name. Igor Demin out of BYU, and Ben Seraf is playing over in France, via Israel. All 5 of these guys I would be pretty happy with if the Mavericks drafted. Jace Richardson, more of a combo guard. Jeremiah Fears, also a little bit of a combo guard, but could definitely play some point guard as well. Yakijonis and Igor Demin are more of your true point guards who are distributors, and Ben Seraf kind of does it all as well. But if I had to hone in on one guy, I think Jeremiah Fears is the guy that I really like out of Oklahoma. I think his athleticism, his tenacity on both sides of the ball, his ability to score at a pretty high level is what I really like about Fears. And I do think he could step in and play point guard for this team alongside Brandon Williams, and the Mavericks can tread water for the first few months of the season before Kyrie Irving comes back. And if the Mavericks do re-sign a Dante Exum or a Spencer Dinwiddie to a minimum or slightly there above, I think the Mavs would actually be in a pretty decent spot as far as the point guard position goes. So keep Jeremiah Fears' name in mind. We're obviously about 2 months and change away from the draft right now, so a lot can change. But Jeremiah Fears out of Oklahoma, a guy that I really like. We will get to the rest of the list here in just a moment, but I do need to tell you guys about our sponsor, which of course is Game Time. We absolutely love Game Time here at Chat Sports. The NHL playoffs are starting today. The Stars have a big one tonight. The Rangers are in full swing as well. And if you want to go see your favorite teams, get in on the action with our friends at Game Time. One thing I really like about Game Time is their all-in pricing option. Toggling this feature shows the total upfront with no surprise fees at checkout. Plus, they offer the Game Time guarantee. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time today. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS. That's CHATSPORTS, all caps, for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. That link will be clickable in the comments and the description of today's show. Shout out to Game Time for sponsoring this episode of Mavericks Today by Chat Sports. Go get your playoff tickets today here with our friends over at Game Time. Number 3 is pretty obvious, but the Mavs just need to get everybody healthy. Anthony Davis got hurt again in the Memphis game. Kyrie dealing with the torn ACL. Daniel Gafford and Dereck Lively are both dealing with injuries. It came out that Lively was on a minutes restriction for both of the play-in games. So I think the key, that might be actually the biggest key of the offseason, is just to get everyone healthy, man, because with the health they had this year, they have no chance to do anything next season. They have to have more manpower available for more games than they did this year. Plain and simple. That's it. They got to find a way. I don't know if the training staff has to change their methods. I don't know if these guys have to change up their offseason regimen. Whatever the case may be, you just have to get everyone healthy. Simple as that. Number 4, develop Brandon Williams. He showed you something in the second half of this season after the trade. He played his absolute ass off in the final 16 games of the season, and Williams is a guy who, if I had to guess right now, is going to be a key cog of this team to start next season. Look at his stats here in the last 16 games. Williams averaging over 14 points, 55% from the field, and 42% from 3. And the thing I like most about Brandon Williams is he plays with pace. He's not Kyrie Irving, but he's a little Kyrie Irving light, where he's going to push the ball up the court, and he's going to make the defenses be on their heels and think very fast. And that's why I think Williams is going to be the 2025 opening night starting point guard for this Dallas Mavericks team. Jason Kidd had nothing but praise for Brandon Williams and how he played throughout the second half of the season. I have nothing but praise for Brandon Williams and how he played throughout the second half of the season. And I do think he's going to be a key contributor to this team next season. Developing him and making him a mainstay of a part of this Mavericks rotation is going to be huge for this team going forward. And if he can give you what he gave you in the second half of this year, in the first half of next year, I think you're going to be in a pretty good spot, like I said, with the point guard situation. Before we get to the final thing on the list, I just wanted to say thank you for all of your support this season here at Mavericks Today. We had some crazy ups, we had some crazy downs, but you guys stuck with me through it all, so I appreciate all of the support. And if you want more Mavericks coverage all throughout the offseason, draft content, other offseason content, trade rumors, free agency rumors, all of that good stuff, please be sure to hit that subscribe button right now. It's youtube.com/MavsTV. Just because the season is over doesn't mean we are going anywhere. Keep us locked in for the best Mavericks coverage here on the internet. And the last one, this may be a little controversial. Re-sign Kyrie Irving, but on a non-max contract. Kyrie Irving is available to sign a 5-year, $213 million max extension with the Mavericks this offseason. I would not give Kyrie that amount of money. Now I'll say this, the Mavericks may have no choice, but if they can negotiate it down a little bit, I think it would help tremendously. It's just risky business. And I love Kyrie and what he's done for this team in the 2.5 years that he's been here. He's been nothing but a model citizen. He's been a leader. He's been the voice of reason when we desperately needed it. But signing a 33-year-old coming off a torn ACL to a max is just bad business and a bad idea. The other guy that you traded for, Anthony Davis, he's in the first year of a 3-year max extension as well. He's always hurt. So having Kyrie on a max as well, It's risky business, man. It really is. If you can get that number down from less than a max, I would absolutely do it. Look, if you have to sign Kyrie to the 5-year, $213 million max, you do it and you just wince and say, oh boy, here we go. And you know that contract could be disastrous by the end of it. But it may be something that the Mavericks have to do and may have no choice. But if it were my choice, I would say don't do it. Don't give him the max. What do you guys think, though? Should the Mavericks give Kyrie Irving a max contract? Type Y for yes or type N for no. I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say down in the comment section. If it were me, I would say no, but if you have to, I would then go ahead and bite the bullet. That is going to be it for today's show. That is my Mavericks perfect offseason. Day one of the offseason is today. We're going to have plenty more coverage here coming up on the channel in the coming days and months. So please, again, stay locked in, and we'll see you soon here on the channel. Peace out, guys.